Hi, hi. Hola, Manu. Hi, how's it going? Hi, how's it going? Good afternoon. Hi, Leticia. How's it going, guys? Really exciting to see you. Hello, Walsman. Hi, Mary Jane. How's it going? Hi. Hi, Kalob. Hi, Danny. How's it going, guys? Really happy to see you here. So what we're gonna do, if it's okay for you, we're gonna wait for 5 minutes to see if whether many people connect. Orlena, hi, how's it going? And when I don't know how many people have been attending these chats, because once we get like to a nice number, we can start to have like the most the interesting time and the most time like for a chat and for some questions. Hi, Ornella. Hi, Lore. Hi, Leo. Hi, Alonso. How's it going? Hi. Hi, Anna. Good to see you too. Hi. I love waving to people. This is great. So if any one of you has been on the previous talks, could you tell me how many people more or less on average are coming to these chats? Because I would like to start once the number is right, to have the longest time, because I'm aware of time. We have an hour limit. Hey, Emilio. How's it going? I'm gonna give you like 5 more minutes and then that's fine. More or less 50, 60. That's great. We're already 32, so that's absolutely fine. Hi guys. Hi Fenrich. Hi Barbosamos. Hi Mary. This is exciting. I'm really glad to be in front of you today to talk a little bit about all things advertising and receive all the questions that you want to ask. I'm aware that this is like really weird and bizarre times. This is actually a really weird thing to do, this Instagram live. I would much prefer to be in front of you talking like I used to do like 6 or 7 years ago when I was doing some talks at the Miami at school with everyone. But I assume that apart from the bizarre times that we are living, you're already very scared and excited and expecting what's going to happen on the advertising industry, which no one knows. But at the end of the day, everything will get back to normal, or to the new normal that everyone is talking about. And everything will be fine. And after each crisis, I'm sure we're going to enjoy some times of interesting creative times. It always happens. But yeah, I'm going to give you like 2 more minutes. Hi, Pura. Hi, Vic. Hi, Chris. It's funny, I was working today and presented an idea some ideas for a supermarket that we have in the agency, and it's so weird to present ideas in front of everyone in a mosaic of faces in front of, and it's just weird. They kill everything, so I have to start again and present tomorrow. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be a late one today. Hi, Ele. Hi, Cess. Hi, Gabriel. How's it going? So what we wanted to do is just, I'm aware that the previous chats have been in Spanish, but, Miami School is an international school. We have pupils from all over the world. So I would like to do this in English in order to have like a bit more a bit more audience, non-Spanish speaking audiences, if that's okay with you guys. So it's going to be a little bit annoying for everyone that is not like a an English speaker, but it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Cool. 42. Hi, Cesar. How's it going? I'm going to give you 1 more minute and then we can start. So how it's going to work? I'm going to be talking really briefly for literally, I think I have like a couple of pages of notes, and it's going to be just literally like, I'm inspired by Miami School, Toronto. Wow, amazing, Toronto. Good luck in there. So I'm gonna be speaking like for 10-15 minutes. My sort of super brief chat is about difference. It's about how important difference is throughout your whole career, and especially when you're starting. And hopefully, I'm gonna give you some sort of some tips to separate yourself from the crowd, to actually think about yourself and your team, and be aware of what you have to do in order to create your own space and to be clearly identifiable, and therefore have more chances to have a space for you in the industry, in Spain or whatever you want in the world. So it's 07 now. Okay, I think we can start now. I'm gonna put my watch. Okay, we have like 50 minutes. So yeah, it's gonna be like 15-20 minutes, and then after that, I'm gonna open the conversation to all your questions, and yeah, we go from there. So shoot whatever you want, and ask whatever you want to ask me, because I'm completely open, and based on I have a long experience, and probably I can help you with some of the questions that you might have. So first of all, my name is Pablo González de la Peña. I'm from Madrid in Spain, and I started my career back in 2002, I think it was, at Leo Burnett in Madrid. This was in the times where you would work absolutely for free, and I remember like having like sandwiches. The only meal that I would have during the day is like a sandwich at lunch, like €3 sandwich, because we didn't have any money. But luckily things have changed from there. So I started my career there in Leo Burnett. Then I moved to TBWA, and I was lucky because thanks to a couple of works that I did with my teammate Cesar back in the day for PlayStation, allow us to win a couple of awards and get the attention of Juan Noncioli, which was creative director of the newly founded Shackleton in Madrid, which was a hot startup at that time. So what I did with my team, with my copywriter, was to move to Shackleton. At the beginning, we kind of both did art direction and copywriting, but definitely after that beginning, we decided to separate, and he was a pure copywriter and I decided to go for art direction. And definitely I started to think more about craft, about visual ideas, about telling the most things with the less possible information, being really very synthetic, and being working with images and as synthetic as possible, and being able to tell stories with the less possible text and copy, and that worked really well at Shackleton, because we started to at the beginning it was uncertain times, but definitely we started to think in a new way to do campaigns. It was an interesting time because we managed to create interesting sort of media neutral ideas, and that now we'll think of them. We put a name to them. They're called now activations and integrated campaigns. But before, they didn't even have a name. So it was interesting times because even clients didn't know what they were approving. But after a few years, we created a good name for the agency, and I was quite happy there. But I grew up professionally, sort of seeing things that came from London mostly, and I really loved the business there, and I just wanted to have the experience of working in an agency in London. So after Shackleton, I briefly went to China, Madrid, which is a small agency in Madrid, and then after that, I decided to move to London, and I landed at For Creative, which was an excellent in-house creative department for the for Channel, in Channel 4, the TV channel. It's a quirky TV channel, very independent, but in a way, the in-house creative department, it was very interesting, and it was very brave. We did very interesting ideas, and allowed me to sort of, getting used to the way that Brits think on advertising. Is a very interesting thing to see the difference and how they produce ideas here and how they're produced in London. They're most about, in Spain, it's more about the idea. What's the idea? What's the best idea? No one has done it. No one has to. If it's done like 10 years ago by someone else in France, we definitely can use it. And in London, it's way more relaxed. It's way more. It's not only about the idea; it's about the execution. So it's about the craft. They know that from an idea, you can take it to many different places. And I learned that really beautifully at Channel 4. After 4 years at Channel 4 and working with very interesting people, and seeing how some of the best ideas that I've ever seen were produced there, like Meet the Superhumans in 2012 for Paralympics, and having the opportunity to lose in the last second at the Paralympics 2016. There were two ideas on the table, and the other team's idea was picked, and it ended up becoming the Grand Prix on Cannes in TV next year. So fair enough, it was good. It feels good to lose against something like that. But then I was like, okay, I need to do something else, because I can't stand staying in this agency while this idea has been produced and it's not, and I'm not related to that. So I decided to move to BBH London, which is an incredible agency that I always look up to, and seeing things coming from that place, like Axe, the Axe Effect, or Keep Walking, from Johnny Walker, the iconic Levi's advertising. And finally I got there, and it's been 4 years already, and 6 months ago they made me head of art. I was a creative director, and now they made me head of art, and I'm actually really proud of that, because it definitely reflects what I love about advertising. I really love media neutral ideas. I love film, I love poster, I love everything craft related, but everything should be absolutely brilliantly executed. And that's what I do now. I try to look at the visual output that we have at the agency, and it's a really tough job, because it's a really tough times, as you all know, but it's definitely worth it. And my predecessors have been incredible icon ad men, and I'm trying just to overcome this imposter syndrome and learn and keep learning every day to make the best job possible, the best work possible. So in terms of in terms of this chat, I want to talk to you about the power of difference. Difference is such an important thing, and it's one of the things that is kind of obvious, but it's never something that could be repeated enough, because it is what I think it brought me where I am, and it brought the people from previous talks to the places that they are right now, because they were sure and they understood what they really liked and what they were really good at. I think, you have seen Juan García Escudero in these chats. You have seen Paco Conde in these chats. You have seen Kako in these chats. And I think both of them, I was thinking about it. And, the four of us that we are talking on these Instagram chats, we were really clear about what we wanted or where we're taking our careers. I think Juan García Escudero is one of those creators that wanted to be really, really big in Spain, and he just, having the opportunity to work anywhere in the world, he decided to work in this market and being a creator responsible of some of the best agencies and definitely make a mark here. He wants to be one of the best ones here. Paco wants to execute world-class media neutral ideas, and that's what he's doing, and that was brought him fame. And Kako has been completely the opposite. Kako is delivering incredible big films for amazing brands. And myself, obviously I can't compare myself with those three, but I just love the craft. I have the passion of crafting everything, and I think I have the skill of making everything look beautiful. And I think, once you understand that, you realize what people value for, or what you're really, really good at. It's not about not doing anything else, but at least what makes you special and what makes you different. What is your place in advertising? What people is gonna be looking at you when you have to perform. So I think it's very, very important to understand what is the difference about you to find your place in advertising. So it's a little bit different from us, that we have quite a bit of experience in advertising, but you guys, you are starting in advertising, and I think difference is very, very important for you too, because obviously that will define. You are absolutely confused, you are just started, but you have to start thinking about how you're going to be different. Once, as you can see, when you look around, when you are working, when you are in the school, you have lots of different people, creating different ideas, executing in different ways, and having their portfolios ready. And obviously, they all go to different agencies to have interviews. And you have to ask yourself, and this is a really important thing to do, what makes me different from all these people? What is different about me that is gonna make someone pay me attention? Why my work or myself is gonna why am I gonna be picked before that guy or that guy or that team or that team or that girl? You know what I mean? And it's not about looks or anything like that. It's what difference you bring to the work. And in terms of the work, I think one of the things that you have to do to your portfolio is about going the extra mile and define it really well what you want people to sort of perceive from that portfolio. I remember watching this, and it happens a lot with many sort of activations and product design ideas that people have. When you see that in that portfolio, it's just like people illustrate things. No, we're gonna do, for example, I remember this idea. We're gonna do a prosthetic leg made out of car parts for this sort of car brand or whatever. And there was like a picture of a leg made of car parts, but it's just a drawing. And I was like, but when I was seeing that, I was like, that is a nice idea, and obviously it's a nice idea, but don't you see right now that if you go the extra mile, if you prove that you can get your ass out of get your ass off your chair or the computer, and you actually go to a scrapyard and you actually create this leg out of car parts or whatever parts you can do, but you do it for real, and you go to the interviews and you bring the actual prosthetic leg with you, made of real car parts, do you think that that's going to define yourself as someone who is just a very special person? You are different from anyone else. You're gonna be hired in an instant. You're the guy who's gonna go the extra mile to do these ideas happen, and that's something that is priceless for an agency. But you have to see that what you're doing right now is the same thing that people are doing in your class. So therefore, there's nothing that sets you out of the crowd. So you have to understand what makes you different. So how you have to plan how you're going to be different from the rest of the of your teammates, of your colleagues, of your of the people from all from other teams that are sort of showing their portfolio at that particular time. The creative director needs to remember you because something was very special about you. And that could be, you could have the bravest ideas, you can go the extra mile and do something happen. You can have if it's about copy, you can write the most amazing copy ever. If it's a portfolio that is just about copy and it has the most beautiful copy ever written and it's just better than anyone else, you're going to be hired. If it's about art direction, you're going to be hired because it's like people are going to be like, that guy was, or that girl or that team had a really incredible art direction. But it could be you are an incredible illustrator. You are an illustrator. You film your own ads. You direct them, and you go with it. It could be anything, but you have to do something that sets you out of the pack. It's just very, very, very important because difference is gonna get you into an agency. And for that, I think one thing that I would encourage you is to start to understand you better, to know yourself a little bit better. If you understand what's good about you and what do you like and why you in what you stand out from the rest is going to help you massively to find your place in the industry. I definitely think so, and I wish someone had told me that when I was starting, because I was like all over the place. It was very difficult to understand what was my real difference, apart from just like having the best ideas is something that you have all to strive for. But there's so much more. It's about passion. It's about craft. It's about positivity. It's about being able to be the best one doing teamwork. It's about being the best one working by yourself. It could be anything, but that definition that has to define you and has to make the work better. If you are defined by something that others can perceive and that makes the work better, it's going to be definitely good for you, because you're going to be fixed on their mind. What do you do and how, what you are, and when they don't forget you, that is so good in advertising. And that's why sometimes when you see illustration companies or photography production companies, they have different specialists for each one of the techniques. They have a portrait specialist, they have still life specialist, they have a lifestyle specialist, and that's because photographers, for example, or illustrators, they always think about how they're gonna be perceived. What's the place that they're gonna occupy on the mind of the people who are gonna, remember them and decide to work with them. And that's something that creatives, sometimes we don't pay attention enough. And I think it's very, very important from the beginning of your career. Once you are in the profession, is going to be much easier, because the work is going to define you. The way of relation, of how you relate with others is going to define you. But even before you're gonna think yourself, you have to know yourself better to understand what you're good at, what you're bad at, in order to try to improve on what your weaknesses are, and try to even reinforce your strengths more. Because if there was a beautiful thing that I heard the other day. It was just like sometimes we paid so much attention on trying to fix our weaknesses, but we should pay even more attention on making our strengths better. And I think that's absolutely true, because I'm 39 years old and I'm not the strongest presenter. I'm not the fastest guy in the room. There are like many people that think faster than me, but I know that I can bring positivity, I can bring passion, I can bring craft, and I can bring joy and teamwork to a process, and that's something that is very, very refreshing when it's needed. So understanding my strengths and making them better, for me, it has served me so much than the frustration of getting better and better in front of talking in front of an audience or something like that. So don't be frustrated. It's going to be fine. Try to know yourself better, and it will be absolutely. And this industry is going to be a blast for you. Also, there's so many difference about the place of creative, sort of the best, the different creative places that you have in the industry right now. You can work in an agency, you can work in an in-house creative department, you can work, at Netflix, even, thinking of campaigns and even creating, thinking ideas for shows. You can be like a TV commissioner. This is just the beginning, but again, understanding yourself better, maybe you realize that your creativity is not about just ads. It's about way more things, and you can find yourself, your space on this sort of creative industry that we have now at our disposal. Everything is grim at the moment, but it will get better, and we're going to have a lot of places to be creative in the next year. So that's absolutely fine. Another thing that I wanted to talk to you is recommend you one of the things that sort of changed the course of my career when I moved to London. I discovered something that I'm going to recommend it to you. It's a place called The School of Life. It's basically a book publisher, but it's about they publish books about emotional intelligence and philosophy applied to contemporary problems. And I really recommend you reading some of their books, because they help you massively to understand who you are and to handle your emotions a little bit better. One of the things that I had trouble with when I started my career, it was really emotional. And one thing you have to understand in advertising is that you don't control anything that happens. Nothing. You're not in control of anything. The only thing that you control is the ideas that you put on the table. But the fact that you don't control if they're gonna get made, if they're gonna get picked up, if they're gonna be awarded. The possibility that an idea becomes a brilliant ad is so minimal and so small that if you think about it, you wouldn't work in this industry. It's just very frustrating, and only people who are a little bit detached, just detached enough emotionally from this industry, they're gonna get absolutely better. You have to enjoy, you have to love it, you have to enjoy the process, and just this, enjoying the process, you're gonna be able to enjoy the industry. Because if something happens and if something is executed beautifully, and if the director is, had a good day, and you have a beautiful piece of film or a beautiful poster or a beautiful interactive, whatever it is that comes out, to the world, and people love it and it's successful, and it makes a brand look absolutely better, and people talk about it, and you show it to your family, that's just a plus. That's just a wonderful plus, but it's not what you need to be happy in advertising. You just enjoying the process, just managing your emotions. It's gonna make your life way better. Another thing, and before opening the space for questions, I just wanted to tell you something about money, because I've seen in the last videos that people were asking a lot about salaries and money and everything. There's something that John Hegarty, which is the H of BBH, always says. He always says, chase the opportunity, don't chase the money. And this is a message from a millionaire that sold his agency to publicists for millions and millions of pounds. But I think it's a great statement to follow, because I never thought about money when I started advertising. I just love making ads, and I think no one that has gone very far in advertising got into the business because they want because of money, or because they wanted money fast. This is just about idea. You just have to love the craft, you just have to love the industry, and that's gonna make you eventually have a decent salary. Probably half of the salary of the people who worked 10 years ago, but a decent salary for the world that we're living in. But it's just about not thinking about it. It will happen. Just focus on the craft, enjoy yourself, and as I was saying, it's gonna be a blast for you. This is a roller coaster of emotions. This industry, just detach yourself, enjoy it, and find your difference, and you will find a great space in there. So, guys, I'm gonna. Sorry for this has been like a little bit longer than expected. I thought it was going to take like 5 minutes, but it took like 25 or 20. So I'm going to open the space for questions. Whatever you want to say, just please go for it. I have one question, I think. No. And if you want to put your questions in Spanish, that's absolutely fine too. So, but who pays the bills? I think at least I don't know what's the situation in Spain at the moment, but I think now, at least in London, everyone gets paid a fair amount, more than the minimum wage, to actually being able to live in London and work in an agency. Not a very luxurious life, to be honest, but enough to live and work in advertising. To be honest, I don't know what is the situation now in Spain, but I assume it got better than when I was working there. Best position to start in an agency. It depends what you love. And my preferred position is art direction. Obviously, I absolutely love it. And I think when the first time that I heard about, I just wanted to make ads. But when I heard about the position of art director, and they were explaining it to me in school, I was like, is that actually? They actually give you money on exchange of that? Because that is actually quite fun. I thought that a work, has like to be boring and annoying. I didn't know that it was going to be such a fun work. There's like difficult times, obviously, and times that you want to kill yourself. But overall, it's really good. Is there any possibility to work with you anytime soon? Absolutely. You just have to send me your portfolio, and if it's good enough, you have a good chance to work with me. Guys, you have my contact, you have my website. You just go there and put your portfolio there, and I will see and feedback anything you like. Now I'm at home. I have a lot of work, sadly, but I can help you and I can feedback anything you need on your work. So that's absolutely fine. How do you get inspired to create or design? I get inspired by the brief. The brief is just a very, very interesting thing to actually start interrogating the idea. And it's never a blank canvas. It's never a blank page, because you always have the strategist giving you insights, giving you initial sort of territories to actually start thinking about it. If you think you don't have enough information or is too much of a blank page, just ask for help to a strategist to get some more insights. What could be interesting for people? What interesting space could in which interesting space you could execute? And again, there's like loads of different ways to start thinking about things and techniques about creating ideas. I really recommend you a book that I'm reading that now, from the School of Life as well, and it's called How to Think. I think it was about thinking and having ideas. It's a really, really interesting, very intellectual sort of book about different ways of thinking, and definitely it's going to open new ways for you. Also, there is a lot of inspiration places like Pinterest and everything, which is always, it's such a way to get like some stimulus up your eyes that it's always great to see something like that. But there's like lots of different sources of inspiration, like cinema and art and everything. Advertising should be your last source of inspiration. Any artist you look up to? Oh, so many I can get. You said that you and your partner started doing both, and then you went art director. How would your life be if you were a copy? That would be an absolutely terrible life, because I don't really know how to write. It's actually very, very frustrating. So I would be a mediocre writer, and I would be looking to art directors, and sad because I would really want to do that. I'm really glad that I decided to be an art director. What campaign are you most proud of? Which one would you go back and redo with the knowledge you now have? Oh, so many. Oh my goodness. I think there are many campaigns I'm really proud of. I think usually are the ones who made a real impact. We created a campaign for Stand Up to Cancer for Channel 4 that it was amazing success. It was a short film filmed by Nexus. I said it was an animation piece for Channel 4, and it got many million views, and it got it helped to get many millions pounds for the telethon and to fight against cancer. So that's one of my proudest campaigns. The Monument Against Cancer when I was working in Spain, the 13th Street Cuisine. You all have a look to my portfolio, pablodelapeña.com, because they are all there, and they are all, I think, great examples of teamwork and media neutral ideas. One of the last one that I did was for BWin. It's called Who Stole the Cup. We created an ad for a betting company called Bwin, in which you could actually bet on the outcome of the ad. We gave sort of 4 possibilities of 4 different players, and the 4 of them could have possibly stole the World Cup, and you could actually get to the website and bet who did it, and then we publish on the internet the whodunit, and at the end it was Maradona who did it, Armando Maradona, which actually was very, very fun to work with. But definitely one of the campaigns that, if I go back, I would change. It was one thing that you would never see. It was for Ray-Ban, and we went to shoot to New York for Ray-Ban for the new collection of sunglasses, and we worked with Stephen Klein, and it was such a terrible thing. I would change everything that happened in that shoot. We have one of the best photographers in the world. I was there with Mark Reddy, which is my predecessor, the previous head of our BBH. We have an iconic brand. We had every ingredient to make an incredible campaign, and everything was absolutely terrible. So we created something that no one saw. It was very ugly, and I would change everything. It's not just one thing. It's about the understanding that no matter what how good everything looks, everything could be terrible and not end up really well, but it could be completely the opposite. From a small thing under the radar, you can have your breakthrough piece, and that's why one of the things that I need to tell you is that every brief, every small opportunity that you have, just go and seize it. Do your best, because that one, you never know which one is going to be the next gold lion, the next thing that is gonna that people are going to talk about. Go with everything you have to any small opportunity, no matter your experience, no matter if you're starting or if you have 30 years experience. The Grand Prix, the Cannes Grand Prix could appear in the smallest brief. Remember Damn Ways to Die, for example. Damn Ways to Die was the Cannes Grand Prix 4 or 5 years ago. It won like 18 Lions, and it was for a train company, a small train company in New Zealand. So no one on that brief could have imagined that the outcome it was going to be so big. So focus, give everything you have even with the smallest briefs. If you were to start working an advertising agency, or what kind of company would you be interested? As I was saying, I think the thing is that I'm a weird person that really loves ads. So maybe I would work in an advertising agency, but there's so many places now. You can work at Apple, doing like having ideas for keynotes and writing the speeches that Tim Cook are is gonna give, and it's gonna be as relevant as you can be. You can work in in-house creative departments to not actually just doing ads, but doing many more things. Netflix is doing so much creativity that is just I'm jealous, and you can say that from many different companies. It's the time of in-house creative departments, and that's something that you could explore if you don't feel adverts is something significant for you, but you definitely want to pursue a creative career. First question. It is easy for persons who work in the traditional marketing area, like law firms, to work in the advertising industry, and the ways to be a good one. I think the answer is easy, but the process is not. The great thing about advertising is that the only thing that you need is your portfolio. So you just have to have a good portfolio, and you will get into an agency. It's just as simple as that. It's what I was talking before. You have a portfolio that is different from the rest, and you will get into an agency, and you will have a different career. This this industry, one thing that we have to be very, very proud of is that as white middle class it is, and we're trying to change it, as sexist that has been in the past, it just offers many chances just based on a portfolio. If you have a good portfolio, you're going to get into an agency. That's 100% guaranteed. It doesn't matter your ethnicity, your race, your upbringing, your social environment, nothing. If you have the best portfolio, you're gonna get into an agency. So it's as simple as that. It doesn't matter what's your profession. You can move into the advertising industry and creative industry just by having just proving that you can have great ideas. What is the most important thing you need to see on the portfolio to hire someone? For you as art director, is more important the idea, concept, or good execution. I think ideally the three of them. But you can't expect everything from a person that is just a team that are just starting. But you need to see the energy. You need to see bravery. If I have to summarize it, you have to see passion and bravery. And that bravery could be expressed in the most sort of outrageous ideas that you have ever seen, but with a nugget of intelligence in there. Bravery on having incredible, of going the extra mile and build the real prosthetic leg with car parts, as I told you before, instead of just creating an illustration, which is what everyone is doing. It's just, you're just looking for someone who is different, and that's something that you perceive is difficult to explain, and that's why you have to think what is different about you and what is different about the work that you're putting together for the person that is going to see your work to appreciate it. If it's an excellent world-class execution, so be it. If it's a wonderful copywriting, so be it. If it's a wonderful set of outrageous ideas that show bravery at their heart, that's absolutely fine. Anything that makes you different is gonna get you hired, or even it's a side gig, or even it's something special that you have done for real. I remember this team, Doug and Mikhail, they work at BBH, and now they are Y&R in London. What they did to get sort of famous was going to the Saatchi Gallery dressed in a suit, and they decided to become art pieces. So they went in they stood in one of the rooms there and got a ping pong ball and put it in their mouth, and just standing there with a ping pong ball in their mouths. So once they were there for 10 minutes, people started to take pictures of them, and they thought they were doing they were becoming art pieces, or they were seeing a performance, and they documented the whole process. They filmed a video and they put it on their portfolio, and they sent it to different media, and they appear in different newspapers. They appear in the Guardian, in the Evening Standard, and they created a case study of them becoming art pieces. So it does not have to do with the work at all, but that proved that those people show passion, bravery, and anything that you need, and that anything that you're gonna be asked in an agency. So that's what I'm looking at, and every creative director is looking at. It's just passion and energy and bravery and weirdness. How to be relevant with everyone says the same right now? Well, it's funny. Have you seen the video of everyone making, doing the same ad for coronavirus? It's kind of true that is that they are all the same, but obviously they are all they were beginning from a very, very, very small strategic sort of territory, which is actually very uncertain times. And brands need to be, can't be celebratory. They have to work with user-generated content or whatever they can find. So the situation made a set of ads that they actually look exactly the same, but it took literally like 2 or 3 weeks. And I think we are now getting into the second phase, which is how are we getting creative in these times of coronavirus. And I think I honestly think we're gonna start seeing good narrative and good ideas from this situation once we got rid of the emotional piano music. 2 days ago, Wyden and Kennedy already did something amazing with Candom Health, which is a beer brand. They release a new brand of beer called Heroes, and they're gonna dedicate the profits to the NHS, to the to the doctors in the UK. So I think that is starting to be something in the right direction. I've been chatting with production companies as well. We had a meeting at BBH with Some Such and Biscuit and some production companies, and the ways that these guys are investigating new forms of narrative in the time of social distancing is just amazing. It's staggering how they are helping agencies to create new narratives, and they will make it happen. They will make the new great ideas that the agencies have. They will make it happen, in whatever way. What's your creative process? As I was saying before, just start from the brief, and if you have trouble thinking, just get your strategists to give you more insights and give you more ways into the strategy. It's just if you think that you are alone in this and you don't have everything, just ask for help. There's nothing stronger than asking for help when you think you are not getting anything. For example, one of the main mistakes that I did with in Channel 4, it was thinking that I was very good by myself, because I didn't know myself well enough in that time, and I just struggle by thinking by myself all the time without talking to anyone, and I just almost got mad sometimes, and I realized that talking with other creatives suddenly made my work so much better. It was amazing, but I just struggled with the idea that I needed anyone else to actually get good ideas, and that was so idiotic when I see it in hindsight. But now, knowing myself and knowing that 1 + 1 = 3 in my case, I always try to, even in my situation with a creative director and being a head of art, I always try to speak with anyone, with a placement team, with a junior, with anyone who is in hand, and try to bounce back some ideas, because I think in that conversation, I'm gonna get so much insight and so much fuel to actually get more ideas that it's actually really, really, really helpful. Again, the creative process is about yourself. It's about knowing yourself. It's about what you need in every moment. So just do it, start doing it, keep doing it, and once you know yourself, keep doing that, and don't fight against who you really are, because I'm terrible thinking ideas by myself. I just got mad. And some people are great. I'm not. I'm going to have to speak with people. So be it. It's absolutely fine. Any resources we can look for if we are building our portfolio? I think resources, just learn to draw and draw it. We don't need anything else. Learn to write and write it. We don't need anything else. If you want to do some good art direction, and you want to do it yourself, just learn the basics. Learn Photoshop, learn Illustrator, learn Adobe InDesign, or get an iPad and with a pen and learn Procreate. You just have to learn the basics of how you put your ideas into a paper in any kind of software, and you will be absolutely fine. I really recommend you to be familiar if you like ads. I really recommend you to visit places like D&AD or One Show or Cannes Advertising Festival, and literally study every ad that you see, because when you really look at how things, how messages are communicated and how campaigns work, you start seeing, when you seen 1,000 of them, you start seeing that they all look different, but there are some structures that, beneath the work, behind the work, there's like structures that get repeated. So you start getting some formulas that you can, some communication archetype that you actually and start understanding, and you can start applying to your work, because sort of there are simply ways of thinking that you can execute in many, many different ways. You just see more advertising if you want to do good ads. Are you still in love with advertising? Absolutely. I love it every day, and every day I think I should do something, like I should direct music videos, or just like trying to direct a short film, and at the end of the day, the thing that I really, really like is just to making ads and creating ideas and craft them and execute them. It's just a beautiful feeling to have a good idea that you like, and once you get the right emotional sort of in the right emotional territory, where you are like, when you love it but you're emotionally detached to it, so it doesn't destroy you when something gets killed. I think this industry is absolutely wonderful. What would you say to a copywriter that always wanted to be an art director? It's like there is always time. There is always time to switch. BBH tagline is "When the world seeks, zag." Could you tell us how this applies to you as a creative? I mean, I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know, because for me, one of the things that I perceive as my main difference is that I think what I bring to in a world of very intense people and very smart people and very fast people, I think I kind of identify myself as someone who is humble, and once just there's no any layers. It's just open, and I'm just open to admit my weaknesses, and I think that is a little bit, I think that's kind of a bit refreshing in the advertising industry right now. And I think I'm good with people, and that allowed me to for people to trust me and to keep going up in the and being promoted in the industry. I think that's the zag for me. The zig is this like a very, very frivolous layer on this industry. I'm not frivolous at all, and completely the opposite. So I think, guys, there's so many questions, but I think there's like 2 minutes remaining, and this is gonna finish. I just want to say thank you. You've been absolutely great with all your questions. I hope this has been really useful. I hope you have a bright future in advertising. And obviously my doors are always open. If you want to ask any questions, please go to my portfolio and put any questions, or go to Ana Hidalgo and ask her for my email. I'm happy to see anything you want to send me and give you some feedback. So I wish you all the best. I had a blast today. So thank you very much, guys. I'm disconnecting now. So bye bye.